And we are live. This is Trend Labs News. Welcome to Trend Labs News. Take it away, Double Live.
Double I reaching out to you with a new article. So, before we start, hey Yam, I got
What's
a question for you, buddy. A riddle.
Fire.
Well, it's a straightforward question, right? What's the capital of Thailand?
Bangkok?
Precisely, yes. And coming from the
got it.
Bangkok Post, we have news from Sydney. So the Bangkok Post reporting on Sydney, a knife-toting Australian hired to break into another man's home, tie him up, stroke him with a broom, and if he did it, and hear this, and if he did it really good, he would be paid up to 5,000 Australian, which comes out to like 3,300 something of US dollars. He can't even make this up.
That puts a new spin on sweeping the floors.
To be honest, it sounds like something Jaguar would do.
So the guy who was hired to do this was recently in court, right? So they cleared him of any wrongdoing because he actually ended up in the wrong house. Get this. So the Sydney man, Terrence Leroy, and his associate turned up at a rural home on a Quest Sunday morning last July, armed and ready to carry out a sexual fantasy organized on Facebook. So essentially,
of course,
the unsuspecting resident initially mistook the intruders for a friend who had come over to make coffee and said, "Bug off, it's too early." So this guy, they end up in the wrong house, right? So this guy is saying, "Bug off, it's too early," and they're thinking, "Okay, all right, we'll come back a little later." So when the men said the intended role player's name, the startled resident.
Fuck.
A large knife. Can you hear me?
Start from the startled resident part.
Hold on. The startled resident turned on the light and found them holding large knives next to his bed. After realizing, yeah. So think about this. You're not the one who called him in. You're the guy who's just fucking sleeping in his house, minding his own fucking business, and two guys with large knives, machetes, are standing next to your bed, calling out a name that's not you, and you have no idea what they're about to do to you.
I would probably try to kill him.
They better have a good explanation. Otherwise, they better have a good explanation.
In this particular scenario, there would be two gentlemen on my floor with holes in their head.
Problem with that, you can't have a gun in Sydney, so therefore there wouldn't be no guys on
that's
the floor
true.
holding their head.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Double I would find a way. So moving on. After realizing he was not the willing participant, one of the pair apologized, shook the man's hand before leaving, according to court documents published earlier this month. During the trial, Leroy's lawyer argued that there was no intention to intimidate the stranger. It was a commercial agreement to tie up and stroke a semi-naked man in his underpants with a broom. The lawyer said, "How do you say that straight-faced in a goddamn courtroom?" First of all, moving on.
How does this get to a courtroom?
This shit was in the courtroom a few days ago.
Hey, I think Batman should have swooped in and handled this before it got to any court.
After excusing themselves,
where was the broom?
After excusing themselves, the pair, along with a driver. Oh shit! There was a driver involved. Then headed Then they headed to the correct address.
Who was looking at the GPS and was like, "Yeah, this is not the right address."
The driver took them to the wrong fucking place. So after they went to the right place, after they excused themselves, shortly afterwards, police arrived. Judge Sean Grant said he was satisfied Leroy, who was to be paid 5,000 Australian, if it was really good, mixed up the address. They carried the machetes either as a group or as something to use as a fantasy, Grant said. The fantasy was unscripted and there was discretion as to how it was to be carried out. Leroy was found not guilty of all charges.
Wow. Big bad Leroy Brown.
Man. Leroy dodged a fucking bullet. Dodged a fucking bullet. This was all sorts of crazy in all sorts of directions here. Like, first of all,
what happened to the other
who hires? Hold on. First of all, who hires somebody? Who hires two men with machetes and says, "Hey, I want you to break into my house. All right, I want you to break into my house while I'm sleeping, or even in the morning. I want you to show up while I'm making my coffee. I want you to show up at my house. I want you to tie me up, and I want you to stroke me with a broomstick." Who the fuck asks for that?
First off, who raised them?
Who raised you?
Actually raised.
Who raised you? Like,
wow.
Is this not crazy enough? But then you actually got, hold on. You actually got two fish on the hook that say, okay, we're going to bite. You're going to pay us how much? Up to how much? 5,000 Australian? Shit.
Wait. What? They got more than two fish on the hook. They actually got the driver too in on this shit.
Okay, they got 3 fish on a hook. So these three people get into a vehicle and say, okay, here's the address, blah, blah, blah. Let's make it good so we can get the full 5,000.
I'm starting to think they set poor Leroy Brown up. They set him up.
And this motherfucker shows up. This motherfucker drives them to the wrong goddamn house. However it went down.
Driver be like, nigga, you're fired.
Hey, look,
but they got lucky. No, hold on. But they got lucky. Because the guy that they showed up on was making coffee. He yelled at them, thinking that they're friends of his. Fucking, it's too early. Go the hell away. That's what he said to them. And these guys go away and come back later with their machetes while this guy's sleeping. And this guy's sleeping, wakes up with guys around, 2 guys towering over his bed, I'm sure, with a fucking machete and a broomstick. I'm sure because they had to bring a broomstick. And he's looking around. He's looking at you. What are you here for? Why are you here? Think of how calm this man had to be. Why are you here? Why the fuck are you carrying machetes? And why the fuck do you have a broomstick? And is it Vaseline? You know, what is the broomstick for? Broomstick.
It's 3:27.
There's 2 of you
in the morning.
And I noticed there's somebody outside with an engine running. What's going on? What's going on, fellas? Why are you here? Well, sir, you called us. You called us here on Facebook. You said you're going to pay us $3,000, 3,000 Australian. Where's the fucking money? First of all, 5,000 Australian. Where's the fucking money? We want to see it before we continue. Because if I got to get my broomstick dirty and give it back to mom, I need to know that it got dirty for a good reason.
Right.
A bass, a trout, and a freaking walleye walk to a house.
Walking to a bar.
No, a house.
Walking to a bar at this case. It might as well be a bar at this point because they went to the wrong damn house.
Twice.
Somebody was drinking.
Twice.
Somebody was definitely drinking.
They went in the morning while the guy was making coffee, and he said, "Not now. It's too early." The wrong guy said that.
Yeah, we keep missing that.
Oh shit. So they
Oh
went to
my
the wrong
gosh.
house twice, and then they eventually got to the right house.
And by that
Wow.
time, the police showed up.
Goofballs.
So they
Freaking
ended up at the right house, right? And
Uh-huh.
by that time, the police showed up, right?
I love
So
when-
the guy who ordered this fetish is thinking, I'm not paying my money. I didn't get anything out of this. All I got is some police showing up, and all I got is no broomstick. It's already pre-Vaseline. You guys had machetes. Come on, this should have been really fucking good. You showed up at the wrong goddamn house, and you're not getting paid. So this is all sorts of crazy, dude.
No, fuck
all
the
sorts
fact
of
that they showed
crazy.
up at the wrong damn house. Back to the machete. Right back to the machete and broomstick fetish.
Broomstick fetish. Yeah, that doesn't make any god.
And if you make it really good,
It makes
5,000.
sense. It makes sense if people like sodomy. But a machete though? A machete though. Like this dude had a serious rape fantasy. I'm sorry. Like this motherfucker had a serious rape fantasy because I couldn't see no reason for you to show up with a broomstick and a machete.
Wow.
He literally wanted to be
He was
sodomizing like
probably a fan of the jungle. That's why he needed a machetes,
damn
and then
accents.
he also needed a broomstick so he could feel like it's domestic. You know, domestic jungle,
That's right.
domestic.
You know,
crikey. That's a big broomstick.
Wow.
It's sick. It's sick. But I mean, I've run across people that are, sick individuals. Like I cleared out a compound one time, and in clearing out that compound with that team, we ran into, a few civilians, and out of the civilians, there's one guy. It was like you could tell there's something wrong with him, and he was just asking, my teammates, like, "Hey, can I touch the gun? Can I touch one of the guns?" I'm like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" So he got a swift boot right to the forehead, and we moved
Oh
on.
my goodness!
Wow.
Goodness gracious! I mean, the fact that there are people out there with fetishes. I mean, you can't help but ignore them, because the deeper you get down that rabbit hole, oh my gosh, then you're getting into some really crazy, really crazy people's business and stuff. And when people think that they're covered by when they're like behind behind like a firewall or something. It's like they do some pretty insane stuff. So it's like, twisted. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Oh, Twisted.
but they had that driver,
Twisted
though.
tea, baby.
They had a fucking driver though. Like think about that. Like
that
how
was
did you
Twisted.
convince a man to drive y'all somewhere with machetes though?
And broomstick.
And was he getting paid too, or was he just some bystander that you picked up on randomly?
He's like, hey, you
randomly
want
on
to
your way there?
make,
Like,
want
was
to
it
make a
an
couple
Uber?
bucks?
Was it like an
He
Uber
was-
person, or was it like the taxi, or was it your
It had
friend
to
that
be.
was it your getaway driver basically? Like
A lift.
who was this guy? Who was this random driver guy that took you to the wrong address?
Beats the
And why
piss
did
If
he
it was
want to
Uber,
sit
if it
outside?
was Uber, y'all shouldn't have paid his ass. I'm just saying.
And why did he want to sit
Should
outside?
have a different
Wouldn't he want
driving service.
Wouldn't he
Should
want to
have
go
different-
in and film the whole thing?
Right?
Like, look, man, this stupid ass is paying us to sodomize his stupid ass with a fucking broomstick. I'm gonna film that shit and I'm gonna put it on
That's if-
TikTok,
that's if-
motherfucker.
that's if it's
TikTok or-
yeah, it's having it
TikTok
happen
or
in America.
YouTube or Twitter or
Pornhub.
what's the other one? Pornhub or what's the other one?
Yeah.
Twitch.
XNXX.
Twitch.
I will
Yeah,
make
X
you the
videos,
next Mr.
something.
Hands, motherfucker.
Uh-huh.
Right?
You will be
Yeah, they should-
popular.
They should have a driving service just for that. It'd be called like Luber, or it'd be called like
You say Luber?
Luber. Yeah.
You know
The
what?
Luber driver is here.
I'm telling you right
Uber
now,
driver.
with this new landscape, you're gonna see more of this.
Oh yeah. Graduation edition.
When
Luber.
when women
Luber coupon.
cannot go outside and pick up men at the bar, they're going to be
They'll pay
ordering
for it.
them.
They'll pay for a mail order.
Mhm.
Mail order
man.
Groom.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll
Lots of
expect that
lonely
Timber got a new wing.
wives out there.
Mail
They'll expect the
order men.
And I feel like Lizzo. So it's only a matter of time before Lizzo comes out with the male version of "I'm in Love with a Stripper," and it'd be the video featuring what is the guy? Channing Tatum.
Dude, I'm actually considering creating a business here in Southern California, and I think I might hire you for this business, Yam. It's going to be Double I's man moving service.
Man's moving service.
right?
What the fuck?
It might actually be a good market for that kind of stuff.
Yup. We will move
Especially in
your
Orange
man
County.
out. We will move your
Orange
man out and move our men in.
Especially in
Oh,
Orange
God,
County,
this is
and what's the
crazy.
other county that's rich over there?
Smash and grab. They smash and smash.
Smash,
Smash
grab
and smash.
Grab and grab and
Grab and smash. Grab and
grab,
smash.
smash, and dash. Grab, smash, and dash.
No,
Oh, yeah.
no need for a tip, man. No need for a tip.
Grab, smash,
Well,
and
you
splash.
couldn't really leave a tip because then you would be paying for prostitution. So you would basically
True.
have to tip them at the actual person, the actual company to give them the money. Basically, you would basically have to wire the money to them after they're done.
We're not
Smash and
actually
snatch.
making this business, Tico. It's just
I'm
hypothetical.
sorry.
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
a businessman automatically
Here, look
right
at
there,
this
like,
Excel
okay, what you?
I made an Excel sheet.
Wait.
How you can
Maybe
maximize
in
profit.
Vegas. Maybe in Vegas. Hey, you know what? That's actually isn't prostitution allowed in Vegas or something like that?
Yeah, technically,
I don't.
Mhm.
So wouldn't
I think it's
wouldn't
gray
that be an
area
awesome?
basically in Vegas.
What's ironic is
Wouldn't
like
that be an awesome
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
new
definitely.
business code? Like, okay, hey, woman, are you going to business by yourself or in Vegas and you need someone to warm up your,
Car?
car? Yeah.
Warm up
you
your
need
engine?
someone you warm up the, because the rental cars are quite cold in Vegas deserts, in the parking garages and stuff like that. You don't want anything bad to happen to you in the land of coronavirus right now. So,
Mhm.
if you want one of our men to help you safely get out of bed and get showered and ready for your conference or whatever you have in Vegas, or even hold your hand while you go through the many casinos and spend your money, our men
We
can
have a
help you
man
do
for
that.
you.
We have a man for you.
We've got wind. We've got eye. We've got janky.
Oh, good Lord.
We've got yam.
Oh, good Lord.
We've got Dennis.
Oh, good
Dennis.
We've got Shermanator.
Yeah, you can even be like, she's like, oh, what an
And
Australian
if you're into
Yeah,
men who
Pence.
can cook you
guy.
a beautiful,
We have
beautiful
Shinobi.
meal, if you want a man that can cook you a beautiful meal after you get back to your hotel room in Vegas, because they all have kitchens, we have
Wow.
Mr. Forma that can make you a personal pan pizza
Oh, good Lord.
and have it steamy and hot waiting for you in your hotel room. So,
That
if y'all
concludes
want
this segment of Tico and Tren.
a good time in Vegas,
Tren
let us
Labs News.
Trend Labs.
Have a blessed day. Bye, niggas. Bye.
Bye, nigga. Bye.
Bye.
Wow.